Please welcome back via video the chairman of the Enactus Worldwide Board of Directors, the president of Unilever North America, Case Krytov.
In March of this year, a task force of worldwide board members and Korn Ferry began a global search for a strong new leader. This is not an easy task for an organization such as ours. At Enactus, we often refer to our members as having a head for business and a heart for the world. I'm proud to say we have found a leader that embodies this important quality. She's been to previous Enactus World Cups and is familiar with the organization. She has excellent qualities and the right energy to lead us into the future. She exemplifies our values of integrity, passion, innovation, and collaboration. Officially, she begins her duties as President and CEO of Enactus this Saturday, October 1st. But she's here at the Enactus World Cup to meet you. On behalf of the Enactus Worldwide Board, our current CEO Alvin Roars, and the Enactus Worldwide team, please welcome our incoming President and CEO, Rachael Jarosh.
Thank you for that amazing warm welcome, Enactus. Amazing. Thank you. I'm incredibly excited for the next World Cup in London and for the entire future of Enactus. But for this moment, I'd like to be present with all of you. And I'd like to thank our host country, Canada, once again for a remarkable World Cup. Okay, so are there any first-year students out here tonight? Well, I can relate. This is my freshman year. So all of you upperclassmen, thanks for getting us here. I'm Rachael Jarosh, and tomorrow morning I will wake up and start my first official day as President and CEO of Enactus. I'm truly honored to lead such a talented community of people. I'm grateful to share in the excitement of what we can achieve together. And over the past few days, I've been incredibly grateful to meet many of you. As I've been walking around, I've been asking people, what brought you to our table? Why are you a part of the Enactus community? Your words leapt out at me. Improvement, impact, hope. Hope for your campuses, for your communities, for all of us. But we all know hope isn't a strategy. The deep passion you carry speaks to our core. A head for business, a heart for the world. So I stand here with you embarking on a new journey, and for the same reasons, but for a few more, I want to explain. Let me begin by telling you about my mother. Some of you have heard a bit of this, but in the middle of a frigid winter night in 1940, my grandmother woke up to the pounding of soldiers at her door. That night, soldiers forced my grandparents and my mother, who was just a child, to leave their home forever. And so my family, along with hundreds of thousands of others, began a journey of the displaced, not unlike those we saw earlier this afternoon in the Nigeria work. Their journey lasted 10 years. Their journey took them 20,000 miles across 10 countries. And it was a journey with little to no money, food, shelter, or clothing. Eventually, they found a temporary home in a refugee camp in what is now Zambia. There they lived, and for some valid reasons were told they were not allowed to work. Those camp administrators didn't know my grandmother. She was not about to sit idle. She understood the value of work. She understood the need we all have to wake up with a purpose. And in her case, perhaps most importantly, she understood hunger. So, like many of you, she took entrepreneurial action. She found a way to organize a few of her friends into a cooperative. They snuck out of the camp. They planted a garden. They harvested what they could, and they taught their young, enterprising children to sneak out of camp, walk into town, and barter what they grew for protein. It isn't revolutionary, not at all. But that fledgling business is the reason my grandmother found to get out of bed every day. It was the reason that my family left that camp fairly healthy and strong. And frankly, it's the reason I'm standing before you. My mother understood at that very early age the power of a business to help herself and others. Later on, she would be asked where she was from. She would say, "I'm a citizen of the world with a head for business." She understood there was a silver lining in those challenges of her childhood. That silver lining was her exposure to many people of different nationalities, races, tribes, beliefs, faiths. She also understood that she had nurtured an innate ability to connect with all of them. When I was young, she would say, "You too are a citizen of the world, you just don't feel it yet." But she understood the importance of helping me find my way to that core, to discover that we are all connected. So with that background, you can imagine how I felt the first time I attended an Enactus World Cup. It was in Berlin. I watched students at every level of competition, and I felt at home. I can't really describe it better than the signs in the hallways of this convention center do. They state our collective why. We believe investing in students who take entrepreneurial action for others creates a better world for all of us. Yes, I believe that mission, and I believe in that mission because I've seen it here in competition, and I've seen it on the ground. For example, a few years ago, I had the opportunity to travel to Egypt. I traveled with Jack Shoemaker, who many of you heard about earlier tonight, and many of you may have had the privilege to know. There, I experienced the work of the students on the ground, and I saw the impact they had to transform the lives of children, mothers, families, and communities. They created not only an income stream, but a purpose. We are here today because Enactus can help create that purpose for more people around the world. And now more than ever, we know the world needs the us in Enactus. This is our time. The agenda, as you've heard, for the Sustainable Development Goals makes it clear we need a plan of action for people, planet, prosperity. We need to eradicate poverty, to shift the world to a more sustainable, resilient path, and we need to achieve gender equality and human rights for all. So the question is, how can we do what we do better? How can we together build on the foundation on which we stand and drive innovation within Enactus? How can we together be more nimble, more aggressive, more efficient, and more deeply aligned to empower you and the students of tomorrow to take on the new challenges in our world? The truth is, I don't know. I don't have the answers. No one person does. But I do know that every person in this room has a contribution to make to our future, and that by working together, we will amplify the impact of the astounding students in our audience today and those Enactus students to come. Before I close, I'd like to again emphasize how grateful I am for all of those who've gotten us to today. Thank you to Case Krytoff, the board chair, and Mike Moore, the board vice chair, and the Enactus board for their vote of confidence in me and their ongoing investment in this amazing organization. Thank you to our supporting partners, many of whom are here today, who continue to believe in the positive impact of Enactus. And thank you to the future Enactus partners, many of whom are here today. Thank you to the many business and academic leaders, and especially our faculty advisors, all of whom work tirelessly to guide the next generation of Enactus leaders. Thank you especially to the Enactus team in this room and across the world. Their dedication and their commitment make this organization stronger every day. Thank you to the students and the alumni who are working so hard to improve this world. And thank you to Dr. Alvin Roars for your vision, your courage, and your unwavering dedication. Together, all of you have built the foundation on which we stand. That foundation was guided by Dr. Roars, and this week, this month, and today especially, I've heard the heartfelt words this community has for you, Alvin. They affirm your legacy. Thank you again. So tomorrow I will wake up on my first official day as President and CEO, and I will be thinking of you. I will begin reaching out to you. I will begin by asking how we can take the best of our energy, skills, and resources and be more nimble and more aggressive as we step up to build the next generation and the future of Enactus. The answers won't come easily, and the challenge I have accepted energizes me. So I'd like to ask you a few questions. Are you ready? Will you face this challenge with me? Will you commit now more than ever to live the Enactus values? And will you commit now more than ever to use the power of business to improve our world? Fantastic. Thank you. Because together, when we're all in, hashtag, we all win. Thank you very much.